the film?
I work at Fox, so yes,
Oh,
several
okay.
times.
I don't know. Yeah,
yeah,
really.
I'm filling in for the generic ones that we send out to press who couldn't make it to the junket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anytime you're ready.
Talk about the connection that Connie makes with Frank and with Will. It's not a conventional one. She doesn't see him up close and personal until the very end, so it's a really strong one, though.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're playing a role that you're actually not having conversations with each other because we're shooting it so many weeks and months apart. But these are people who connect and bond just through voice. You know, just being that like completely, you know, taken off voice from the speaker that's coming in and trusting what they're doing, believing in them, supporting in them, being their eyes and ears outside of the cab that they're stuck in. And in some ways, they're just as frustrated about the space that they're in as I am sitting in my control room. And it's an amazing thing. You know, you meet a lot of different characters when you're in this movie, you know, and you look at the Ethan Suplee character in the beginning who's cutting corners and creating this problem to begin with. And then you come across people like Will and Frank, and they're going through their own problems in their own lives, but these are all people who are able to put aside their personal issues, just like Connie, and be able to get the job done because lives are at stake. And I think that's the thing that I was really attracted to in this story, is that these are people of kind of they're from the same stock. They're kind of the same cloth, and you can see them get that in each other, even under such a high, intense circumstances.
Now, Tony Scott is the master of these high-octane action thrillers, but he also, in each of them, brings a certain amount of character, important character stuff to them. You could talk about some of the work that you and Tony did together to give, you know, flesh out Connie and bring her to life.
Oh, you know, it's such an amazing experience to work with a director who's so hands-on and so communicative and in every single possible way. I mean, every meeting that I had with him, he'd take a million photos and really tried to wrap his brain around me as Connie and what that was going to look like. And then we played with my hairstyle, and we played with how she was dressing, and, you know, everything. Of course, she's going to wear jeans and boots because she's sensible, but she doesn't have to be masculine and wear a turtleneck sweater. She can show up and still have a pink scarf and a cardigan, and, you know, she's going to rip her hair up and down at every single second because that's how she's going to vent her frustration about not being able to reach her arm out long enough and pull the lever herself. But she's also not going to be hysterical and panic or be bitchy and take it out on anybody. She's going to be controlled and composed because she is the yard master. She doesn't have anything to prove. You know, she has to just be who she actually is trained to be, and call the shots that she feels needs to be called. And it was amazing being able to do research. We found different women to look up to and get in background information that we could fill Connie, you know, for Connie. And we went through a couple different women until we found the one that we really felt was right, and that was Marian Alexander right outside of LA. And it was amazing. I would talk to her, he would talk to her, he'd go through the transcripts, and we'd go through those transcripts with highlighters and go, we like that bit, and that sentence here really helped. And it was just incredible. It was more than just learning the vernacular of what it is to be a, you know, a yard master, but actually all the nuances and the emotional and, you know, things in between. You know, how does that feel to have, you know, be called a ball buster? How does it feel to go and yell at your boss right now and stick up for yourself? Not because you're sticking up for yourself in a sexist comment, but you're sticking up for what needs to be done. And even if that means saying your choo-choo train might have to go kaplunk, you know, it's like, and it might cost me my job, if it saves hundreds of thousands of lives, it's a good day at work. And it was just amazing to kind of figure that out. And you start off, I think, immediately when you read the script of like woman in a man's world, but by the end of it, it was just a really capable person in the right position and showing someone who has pride for what they do and not an ego about it. And that was amazing to discover.
Separate from your one scene with Denzel and Chris, what was your best day, most enjoyable day on the set?
Oh, you know, I had so much fun on the set all the time. I mean, you know, in my little confined, you know, control room, I had my KC boys, Kevin Corrigan and Kevin Chapman, and we had a lot of fun in there, looking at the donuts never move, never decompose, weeks on ends, you know, sitting there while we're waiting for the blinking lights to work, you know, because they didn't want to CG anything. They really wanted to get it right. And just being there and creating moments between each other. And it just felt really good. Like there was something that I learned in the research of this, like you will be tested. Your metal definitely will be tested because it's a dangerous situation out there. And in the rail yard world, you know, if you're young and if you're a woman, people are going to go, are you capable to handle this job? You think you're grilled at the airport sitting at the emergency section, like you're definitely gonna be grilled and put through it on one of those, you know, on one of those rail yards. But at the same time, if you prove that and you show that you've got their back as well as your own, you're embraced in the family. It's an amazing family to be a part of, and that's what it felt like being in this movie. We all came at it from our different characters and ideas, and we all came together as a family and told this story as one.
Terrific. Thanks very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.